At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Hello everyone, meteorologist Mike Krueger here. It is Wednesday, October 30th. One more day, of course, we've got Halloween coming up tomorrow. A lot of people wondering what the forecast is for the trick-or-treaters. It depends on where you are. The mountains, I think there's a very good chance you'll be dealing with scattered showers. The valley is going to be kind of borderline, especially around the time it is for those kids to get out and start trick-or-treating. Younger kids, maybe some sprinkles. Older kids, later, a little bit later at night. Looks like the chances for showers will start to decrease as we go into the evening and into the overnight hours tomorrow. Chappie saying good morning, everyone. It's so nice and chilly. Absolutely loving it. It is a chilly start to the day here. In fact, let's get you to your Krueger's Quickcast here this morning. And this is just a quick look at the forecast for those of you that just need to know what's going to happen for the day today so you can go on with your day and plan for it. Because as you know, I can go into a lot of detail in the forecast. And I know a lot of people like that. That's one of the reasons why I've done so well with this. But I know that some of you are in a bit of a hurry, so we got to kind of get through that forecast sometimes pretty quickly here. All right, so starting off the morning, yeah, I mean, we've got some stray light showers just off the coast right now, and looks like a little bit of snow flurry activity here. As we can see here in northern Trinity County this morning, southern Siskiyou County, looks like even over the mountain of Mount Shasta, and even making its way into northeastern parts of Shasta, southwestern Modoc County as well. This is nothing significant. This may be even not even reaching the ground, but you get the idea. I mean, we're starting to see some of that cold and unstable air begin to move in, and this is going to allow us to eventually see some more rain in the forecast. Now, it's a cool start to the day. We're talking temperatures low to mid-40s in the valley, 20s for most of the higher elevations, and we've got upper 40s to low 50s for the coast. So there's your visibility. Looks pretty good out there. Kind of hard to see on the cameras this morning. This is out looking at Elk Country and just north of Trinidad out there this morning. And again, kind of hard to see even out towards Crescent City. This is Harbor District. Doesn't look like we're seeing, well, we're seeing some clouds. No rain just yet, but I do think that's going to change. Take you back out to Elk Country this morning. And again, just turning out to be a kind of a cool night, but it is dry, or cool morning that is, but it is dry. The visibility also looking pretty good out there as well. All right, let's get you out the door this morning. It's Wednesday, October 30th. It's a dry start, even for the coast. Now, initially, if you were watching my forecast yesterday, I was saying about 8 o'clock in the morning, even the coast will see some light showers. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. This storm system is taking its own sweet time, folks, and it's going to take a while before it gets here. So a cool start to the day. Some clouds this morning, just not much in the way of rain this morning. I do need to mention there's a wind advisory for central Siskiyou County known as Shasta Valley. That's from 11 o'clock this morning until 8 o'clock tonight. Sustained winds out of the south at 25 to 35 miles per hour with gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. Now, this, of course, the biggest concern. It's on I-5. If you're driving a high-profile vehicle, a big rig, for example, or maybe even just a big truck, do know that you're going to be kind of blown around on that highway. So just be aware of that. All right, let's go and take a look now at the wind gusts that we do expect to see here. And you can see not a problem this morning, but then going through the morning, those winds pick up. Look at central Siskiyou County, north of Mount Shasta, Shasta Valley. You're seeing those oranges and reds. That's 40 to 50 miles per hour. But also take note going through the afternoon, not only gusty in Shasta Valley in central Siskiyou County, but we're seeing those winds pick up for the valley too. You can see upwards of around 20, even close to 30 miles per hour. Gusty even for the eastern mountains. And by the way, also some gusty winds, especially for the first half of the day along the coast. Those winds should die down, though, later on this afternoon. And then as we go into tonight, the winds die down for central Siskiyou County. That's good, but it's still gusty for the valley and in the eastern mountains as well here, even tonight. So you can see the approaching storm system. You can see the cold front you got the rain associated with that. Most of the rain right now, at least what we're seeing on the radar, is to our north in Washington and Oregon. But most of the rain that's going to be moving in our region, not really being picked up on radar just yet, at least not a lot of rain. And that's what's going to be moving in here for today and will impact our weather for Halloween Day as well. So the main cold front passing through later on this afternoon, and then behind it, cold and unstable air, keeping our chances for showers in the forecast, even on Thanksgiving. I always want to say Thanksgiving for some reason, but Halloween Day. Winter weather advisory for the mountains east of the valley. This is from 11 o'clock tonight through 5 p.m. Thursday. This is mainly for elevations above 5,000 to 6,000 feet. Now, as you go above, say, 6,000 feet or higher, you could see up to 6 inches of snow, but it's also going to be windy. So travel is not going to be a major concern, but some of the higher mountain passes, sure. You're going to be looking at the potential for some chain requirements above, say, 5,000 or 6,000 feet. Yeah. I'm going to show you something. And I want you to just kind of a quick reminder here because, you know, we haven't had to deal with this for a while. But I want you to go to weathernorcal.com. Unfortunately, the 24-hour channel is down on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick. But if you have YouTube, you're good to go. But anyway, scroll down here. See where it says road conditions? You click on that. I love this page. This is such a great page because, number one, quick and easy link to quick maps. That's where you're going to see the chain requirements, right? But what I did is I took some of the more popular cameras and you can see just at a quick glance what the roads are looking like at that current hour. I think this is great. And this is, you know, for all of Northern California, Highway 395, Highway 36, Highway 44, Highway 299 East and West. Then you've got Highway 89, 97, and I-5. Some of the more popular spots, Fondale, where we can sometimes have, you know, when they got to do chain checks, you can see that there as well. But we're not dealing with that right now. I just wanted to give you a reminder that that's a really great one-stop shop for you, is weathernorcal.com, and check those road conditions here. No road conditions to concern about here for today, but take a look. As we go through about 10 o'clock this morning, we're still fairly dry for all of Northern California, but places along the coast, Del Norte, Humboldt counties, could see some light showers. Then by around midday, heaviest rainfall is in Del Norte, western Siskiyou, northern Humboldt. And then to the south in Humboldt County, you're seeing some stray showers. But really, mostly dry for Trinity County, most of Siskiyou County, and everyone else looking at dry conditions. Now by about 3 o'clock this afternoon, again, slowly pushing to the east. Rain for the coast, Trinity County, Siskiyou County. Everyone else, fairly dry. This is 3 o'clock this afternoon. We take you into 5 o'clock today, and now we've got that rain pushing eastward. In the valley, seeing showers late afternoon, early evening. Now you'll also notice we're seeing some snow on the map here. I-5, no issues there. Highway 3, around Scott Mountain. That's kind of near the Trinity County, Siskiyou County line there, a county line. Could see some snow on the highway there, on Highway 3. Again, we're talking snow levels above 5,000, 6,000 feet. So some of the higher mountain passes are at that elevation and could create some problems with snow accumulating on the roads there. In fact, by tonight, even colder air moving in. Look at Modoc County, Lassen County. So again, Cedar Pass, Hatchet Mountain, Morgan Summit, Fredonia Summit, near Susanville, right? We're talking about the potential for some snow there. And maybe, just maybe, some chain requirements. Again, this is why I point you to weathernorcal.com. There's the home page. I take you down here where it says road conditions, and before you know it, you've got access to all of the latest road conditions here in Northern California. Again, just want to point you to that again. That's through 10 o'clock tonight. And then that'll push out, but then there's more coming in behind that for Friday, which we'll get into in our deeper dive forecast a little bit later. Here's your forecast for today. Low 60s, low to mid 60s in the valley, so a little bit cooler than yesterday. 40s, 50s for the higher elevations. Mid to upper 50s along the coast. All right, so here's a look at your 7-day outlook just real quickly here. Off and on chance for showers at least through Friday. By Saturday, I'm still keeping that chance in there. I tell you what, folks, European is holding on steady with that potential for showers even on Saturday. The American forecast model is actually showing signs possibly for Saturday morning for some of us in Northern California. So I'm going to keep that chance in there at least through Saturday. And then we dry out and begin to warm up as we go into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Again, we're going to take a closer look at all this in more detail, timing of when the rain comes in over the next few days, all of that. Because as you know, Halloween is tomorrow. Trick-or-treaters are probably wondering if it's going to be wet or dry. Let's take a look at that trick-or-treat forecast. So for the Valley tomorrow, 4 p.m., 6 p.m., maybe some light showers, a passing sprinkle. So some of the earlier trick-or-treaters may in the Valley be dealing, especially say around Redding, Chico most likely dry at that point. But if we see a stray sprinkle, maybe a light shower, don't be surprised. But I do expect drier conditions. Even though it's showing it there on the map, 8, 10, and even midnight, I think it'll be dry, mainly dry. But that being said, through the evening in the Valley, don't be surprised if you see a passing, at the very least, a passing sprinkle, otherwise fairly dry. So shouldn't be a washout for any of the trick-or-treaters. I don't think anyone's going to have to cancel doing any trick-or-treating in the Valley. Now for the mountains, off and on chances for showers, passing sprinkle, even a passing shower. But as we go into the overnight hours, as we get closer to 10, 11 o'clock at night, it will be a little bit drier. That's the case for the North Coast, inland, and for Trinity County as well. So just wanted to give you a quick look at that trick-or-treat forecast. The shoe fire. Still can see in that containment here. Earlier this week, it was at, I think it was like 52%. Now we're up to 80%, still a little over 5,000 acres. So you can see the winds, yeah, not that bad this morning. But of course, as we saw, there's that wind advisory for central Siskiyou County, and you can clearly see why. But even around noon, look at the winds for the coast, 20, 25 miles per hour, especially the east side of the valley, eastern mountains, gusty winds there. Then we go into your Thursday, this afternoon, still gusty for the valley, eastern mountains, and looks like the winds starting to die down for central Siskiyou County, and looks like weaker winds this afternoon for the coast. All right, now we take a look at Thursday. Look at Thursday. We got some scattered gusty winds out there, 20, 30 miles an hour, but that's mainly because of the passage of the cold front and the storm system that's moving on through, and that's going to give us the gusty winds. And then Friday, a little gusty, especially in the valley, and even a little gusty for some of those mountain ridge tops as well. So what does that mean for our fire weather risk? Well, the humidity today, I think, will be low enough that we will see some elevated fire weather risk, especially on the east side of the valley, Red Bluff, Chico, right? Because the humidity is still fairly low, 20 to 25%. But as we go into Thursday, with those strong winds in the afternoon, look at the humidity, 50, 60, even 70%. Taking you into Friday, look at the humidity, still very high, 70, even 80%. So we don't have to really worry too much about the fire weather risk for tomorrow or for Friday, but we're still seeing those gusty winds. Look at this, it's dark out there, folks. We can't even see any images on the cameras here. Let's take you out to Main Street, Chico. Looks like the image is frozen there, but looks like a fairly recent image. Looks pretty dark there, so you're going to need to use your headlights this morning so you can see on the road. That's an old image. Don't even pay attention to that. Something's going on with the cameras there for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on. Sundial Bridge Drive on Highway 44 in Redding. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful sunrise shot there. It looks like we're going to see probably some beautiful sunrise shots coming in. Well, let's check to see if we have the coast kind of popping up. No, still too dark. Still too dark for us to see anything there. Hey, by the way, I want to remind you, if you can't watch Coffee with Krueger in the morning, if you can't check in the morning at 6 a.m. when I upload the latest video, no problem. If you're in a hurry, you're in a rush, got to get out the door, at 7:30, I do an update with Don and Heather in the mornings on K-Shasta 104.3, or sometimes just shortly thereafter. Logan Kane in the AM, 106X, 106.1, 7:50 in the morning. And shortly after 8 o'clock in the morning, I do an update with Stephen Clark on News Talk KQMS. You can have an AM option, which is 1670, also the FM at 105.7 and 104.9. So that is it. That is, again, this is kind of some of the radio partners people I've been working with here, been doing radio updates really since I started Weather NorCal. So I'm very appreciative of their support of Weather NorCal and their support of an accurate and reliable forecast on their radio stations. I'm honored that they have entrusted me to be their source for weather information. How you doing out there this morning, folks? I'm feeling better. My throat seems to be a little bit better out this morning. Still a little crusty here and there, but not a big problem. But I'm trying to keep that throat lubricated, drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, the works. Let's check in with some of you this morning. How you doing this morning? We got the first to check in this morning was Debbie. And she is saying, good morning, everyone. It's so nice and chilly. I'm absolutely loving it. We got Bill Carlton this morning. He's saying, good morning to you, everyone. We got Stephen Koch. He's saying, good morning from Durham. I'm wondering why the winds blow northwesterly instead of from due north. Well, it just depends. Sometimes you can have, especially there in Durham, a lot of times it depends on where the area of high pressure is, the low pressure. So it's not always just going to be due north, but sometimes you'll get them coming in from the north and west. We got Curtis Brown saying a good morning from, Red Bluff, 7 miles west of Red Bluff. We got Keith saying, good to see you, Mike. Well, good to see you too, Keith. So glad you could join us this morning. We've got Delinda saying, good morning, Mike. We've also got Wanda Gray saying good morning as well. And just posted that a couple of minutes ago. So thank you so much for checking in this morning. I appreciate that. Hey, tell you what, let's get to our deep dive forecast, shall we? We've got a lot to talk about. If you watched this morning's 6 o'clock update, it took a little longer to update and get online because it was so long. Now, I had Krueger's Quickcast in there, but when I start going into the deep dive, boy, I tell you what, I go into the deep dive, folks. You're going to get the detail that you appreciate and come to Weather NorCal for. That's what I've always been known for. That's always been the frustrating thing when I was working in TV, is I was always getting this. When I was doing my weather forecast, they would do this all the time. What that means is wrap it up. And the thing is, I'd get the wrap up, and I'm not even halfway through my weather forecast because I just want to give you all the detail I can give you, but they've got to do news. Well, the cool thing about this, Weather NorCal and Coffee with Krueger, we don't have to do the news, folks. It's just all about the weather. And that's all you really need to get out the door this morning. Do you need to know that, all these bad things happened in the world? Sure, if that's what you want. But you don't have to. You don't have to filter through the news to get your forecast here. And that's what I love about it. And there's no hype either. See that? No hype, just weather. That's been my slogan since day one. That's always been my slogan as a weather forecaster and as a meteorologist. But I haven't been always able to follow the no hype, just weather. This is my coffee. This is my water. I've got water and coffee this morning. And of course, it's got the logo on that one, but this is a little different. All right, anyway, that's always been my slogan. No hype, just weather. But unfortunately, years and years ago, the TV industry decided to kind of hype things up and blow things up that don't need to be blown up. It was frustrating, but we don't have to do that here anymore. Now, there are times when I may hype up a storm, but there's a reason for that. So if you ever see me saying, oh, this is going to be a big deal, then I mean it, right? Then I'm not just saying it to get clicks and likes and all that kind of stuff. I know people are watching. They want to watch the weather, get the most accurate, reliable forecast. I don't need gimmicks to do that for you. So there you go. We got Deborah Ann saying, I haven't watched the news in ages. Too depressing. When I met my wife, she didn't even know who I was. She didn't really, she kind of knew who I was. She didn't watch the news because she just thought it was too depressing. Didn't really enjoy watching the news. Then she, of course, started watching a little bit more for the weather. But even then, she just asks me. She doesn't really bother even watching me do the weather. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not, my feelings aren't hurt. I get it. Not everyone is into it. So that's fine. But there you go. All right. Enough of my high horse. Hey, let's get to the forecast now, shall we? No more hype. Let's just do weather. There you go. And as you know, we got a sponsor here for Coffee with Krueger, and that is Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Well, thank you so much, Wind River, for your support. All right, so here's a look at the radar. We're not seeing any rain out there right now, and the storm system's approaching. It's out there. It's out there, folks, but we're really not feeling the impacts of it just yet. That said, looks like we saw a couple of flurries in northern Trinity, northern Shasta, southern Siskiyou, and just to the north and east as well. That's died out. We're seeing a few sprinkles just approaching the coast as we speak, but it will get heavier. We're going to see that radar begin to light up later on today. Temperatures right now, cool. I mean, upper 30s. Look at that, Red Bluff, 39 degrees. You may need that light jacket this morning. 40 degrees for Redding, 45 in Chico, about 48 for Oroville. Look at Altus, you're down to 24 degrees, 23 for Susanville, 35 for Mount Shasta City, 53 in Crescent City. That's because we got the overcast skies there. That's keeping things a little bit warmer there. All right, so here's your headlines. Cool, unsettled through Saturday. You may have noticed I put the word Saturday in there. If you've been watching, the headline's been saying through Friday. That's because I couldn't really commit to Saturday's rain. However, the long-range forecast model, the GFS, just this morning starting hinting at maybe a possibility through Saturday morning. So we'll see. But I think the bulk of it will be today, really later today, through Friday, especially Friday night. Winter weather advisory east of the valley, that was just issued last night. Dry and warmer this weekend into next week, especially Sunday into Monday. And next week actually looking fairly dry. There's a little kink in there, say next Tuesday, but nothing guaranteed at this point. So here's the big picture. Clearly see the area of low pressure spinning. A couple of things to take note. You got the cold front right here. So along that cold front, the winds will pick up. That's why we've got that wind advisory for central Siskiyou County, which we'll talk about here in a second. Behind the cold front, look at that. You see that? That's the colder air. That's why we call it a cold front. In advance of the cold front, the air is warmer. Behind the cold front, the air is colder. And the speckled clouds here, that's typical this time of the year. We see the colder air beginning to take shape with the speckled clouds. Now, most of the rain right now is just beginning to hit the coast of Washington and Oregon. For us, we're really not seeing that. Again, some prefrontal showers giving us maybe a stray sprinkle or light shower here and there, but it's along this cold front and behind it that we got the rain and the mountain snow heading in here for later today and tomorrow. In fact, there's a winter weather advisory for the foothills and mountains just east of the valley. So this is basically for elevations between 5,000 and 6,000 feet, so as low as 5,000 feet, between 11 p.m. tonight through 5 p.m. So again, most of the rain and snow won't be in this area until tonight. We can see up to 6 inches of snow, 6 inches of snow that is, around 6,000 feet and higher. And by the way, as the cold front passes through, some windy conditions out there too. So some blowing snow could be an issue too. So let's take a look at Futurecast. We're going to walk through the timing here. Now we saw that in Krueger's Quickcast, but now we're really going to dive deep into this. Dive deep. Deep dive. All right, anyway, look at it. Okay, so here we are, 7 a.m. Not much going on with that rain, right? 10 a.m., main band of rain still just off the coast, but maybe a few sprinkles, light showers for the coast by 10 o'clock this morning. Here we are at noon, and now the main band of rain is hitting Del Norte, northern Humboldt, and western Siskiyou. That's the heaviest rainfall. But we are seeing some light showers down towards central and southern Humboldt County. But by noon, it's still dry for everyone else. So if you have outdoor plans, anything you need to do that needs to be dry, you know, maybe you're still okay here, even through the mid and late morning hours. It's still going to be a little chilly out there. The winds are picking up too, but at least it won't be wet at that point. However, by 3 p.m., all of Siskiyou, all of Trinity, all of Del Norte, Humboldt County, scattered showers, moderate to heavy rain for some areas. Now we do have some snow showing up on the radar here. Now, at this point, Scott Valley, I don't think you're quite going to be looking at that snow on Highway 3 just yet at 3 p.m. But the snow levels, that's because we're still kind of the leading edge of the cold front. So the coldest air really hasn't moved in just yet. The main cold front's kind of right about here. So as we get behind that cold front, we're going to start seeing more snow, more blue on the map here as we get into the late afternoon and especially tonight. In fact, you can start to see more of that snow in the mountains. Okay, so By 6 p.m., so late afternoon, early evening, it's pretty much widespread across the region. All of Northern California is seeing some shape or form of a stray shower, light to moderate rainfall in some areas here, and some snow, mainly above 5,000 feet at this point, 6 p.m. today. But we're on the back edge of this first push of rain, so it's beginning to dry out a little bit more here for the North Coast at this point. Then by 10 o'clock tonight, look at all of the snow that we're seeing here. Now, keep in mind, as we go into the Southern Cascades and Northern Sierra, we've got some pretty high elevations, 5, 6, 7,000 feet. So that's why we're really kind of blowing up with that snow. I mean, this is the high desert that we're seeing here, right, in Modoc County. So, I mean, we could see snow levels at this point drop to as low as 4,000 feet. That means maybe a dusting of snow, possibly in Alturas, dusting of snow as we get towards Chester, right, 4,500 feet, Viola, Upper Shingletown, maybe a dusting of snow there. But notice too, we're in the back edge of this storm, so we're seeing things dry out. Now, still some instability, still some light showers here and there, but the main band of rain is mainly east of the valley at this point. But 10 o'clock tonight, still some showers around the valley too. So, again, I pointed this out a little bit earlier, check the road conditions if you have to travel in the mountains east of the valley tonight. Because I think Cedar Pass, Hatchet Mountain, Morgan Summit, Bogard Ranger Station for down your summit. Again, if you know the elevation of that mountain pass you're going, if you're going to be above 5,000 feet, chain requirements aren't out of the question here for tonight or early tomorrow morning. This is the cold front that's passing on through. Now, going into tomorrow morning, here's Halloween morning, we're seeing the next wave push through. So we're fairly dry in the valley, fairly dry for everyone else, but maybe some leftover snow for some of those higher elevations. But I think Caltrans should probably be able to do a pretty good job keeping those roads clear because it's not going to be a ton of snow. So they should be able to kind of keep a handle on it. But again, you got to check those road conditions even tomorrow morning. So here we are. Here's where most of the rain is, here's where most of the snow is, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Trinity, Siskiyou, Del Norte, Humboldt. Otherwise, everyone else looking fairly dry. Here's around noon on Thursday. Now we're starting to see maybe a push of a stray sprinkle, a light shower for parts of the valley, especially to the north, but most of it's in the mountains, most of it's along the coast. Here we are, Thursday, 5 p.m. All right, so this is when the kids may start trick-or-treating, some of the younger kids. Now you see around Redding, Anderson, Palisadro, Cottonwood, maybe a stray sprinkle, maybe a light shower. But if you look to the south, we're fairly dry at 5 p.m. But everywhere else in the mountains, straight showers, snow levels probably around 5,000 feet. 8 p.m., all right, the city of Shasta Lake, Lakehead, Montgomery Creek, Bernie, just to the north and east of Redding, maybe some showers, but otherwise, look at the valley, 8 o'clock at night, trick-or-treating time still. Looks like it's going to be fairly dry for the valley, but stray, isolated showers for the higher elevations and even the coast. By 10, 11 o'clock at night, all right, look at this, maybe a stray shower even down to the south. So we're not completely out of the woods. So yes, it will be mainly dry in the valley for the trick-or-treaters, but don't be surprised if through the time that you're trick-or-treating that there's a stray sprinkle or a light shower. But there's also a very good chance you'll make it through all of the trick-or-treat time without even seeing a drop of rain. You might get lucky. All right, here's Friday morning, 7 a.m. We got another round coming in. Friday morning, and there you can see the showers kicking on in. Here's Friday around noon. All right, so we see maybe a bit of a drying trend here for the valley by noon, but all of the mountains seeing showers, some snow flurries. Here's Friday afternoon. Look at this. Big push of moisture. Now, I think Futurecast may be overdoing it on the intensity that it's showing here, but you get the idea. We're going to get that last push of rain, which could bring us some moderate rainfall Friday evening, Friday night, as this kind of pushes eastward. Now, this is a little bit warmer, too, so snow levels may be a little bit higher as this storm system kind of passes on through Friday night. And then that may linger into Saturday morning, by the way. So let's kind of walk into timing with taking a look at some of the rainfall totals. So through 6 o'clock today, most of it, as we'd expect, for the coast, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. And then about 1/4 of an inch inland, maybe close to 1/4 of an inch in Trinity County through 6 p.m. today. And maybe a trace to just a light amount of rainfall for parts of the valley. Let's take into tonight through Thursday, 5 p.m. All right, now we got maybe upwards of 1/4 of an inch in some areas for the valley, including Redding, including Chico. More of it to the north and west, less to the east. This is through Thursday, it's through tomorrow afternoon. Now let's take it through Friday afternoon. Once again, where's most of the rain? Because most of it is coming in from the west, northwest. Once it hits the coastal range and the mountains, it breaks apart. We see less rainfall elsewhere. However, this model wants to show us a quarter to maybe even half an inch from now through Friday, 5 p.m. So yeah, we could certainly see some decent, measurable rainfall for even the valley and even for the mountains east of the valley. But you can see heaviest, not as heavy, lighter. That's standard. That's typical. So a lot of times what happens is you see the heaviest rainfall that hits the coast, some of the inland areas too, hits the coastal range, hits the mountains, and depending on how strong the storm is, it begins to break apart. So we see less rainfall making its way into the valley, even to the east. But then sometimes as the storm system goes up the mountains, you get what's called orographic lifting. The winds blow up the mountains, and that upward motion creates the instability. So a lot of times you'll see an area in the foothills just east of the valley where you see a decent amount of rain because of that orographic lifting. And then we tend to see it shadowed east of that, going into places like Susanville, for example. All right, so enough of that lesson there. But again, we have some decent rain really now through Friday. It's just going to be intermittent. At times it'll be heavier rainfall. At times it'll be dry. All right, so what does that mean for snow? Well, today at 5 p.m., not a lot. So that's not going to really impact you a whole lot. But by tonight and into tomorrow, now we're seeing some of those higher mountain peaks like Mount Shasta, the mountain, and even the Trinity Alps and Marble Mountains, upwards of a foot of snow there. That's through tomorrow afternoon. Through Friday afternoon, now look at the Warners. You're over a foot of snow there as well. Now, I typically don't like to show this because the forecast model has a hard time with some of these mountain communities because you got to deal with the elevations and all that stuff. So, here's what I'm going to say. El Turris, I think you can see a dusting of snow once all is said and done today through Friday, or tonight through Friday. Bernie, you might see a mix. Mount Shasta City, you might see a mix, but no accumulating snow. Maybe like dusting around Chester if we can get enough snow there. And then, of course, the valley, nothing, right? Weaverville, Hayfork, no mixes there, all in the form of rain. But again, you see some of the higher elevations in Trinity County, in Siskiyou County, upwards of a foot of snow or more. So again, some decent snow hitting at some of those highest elevations. We're not going to go too much into the timing with the storm system, but here's storm system number 1 moving through tonight and tomorrow. Storm system number 2 moving through into Friday night. And then behind it, there it is. So here's Saturday. And remember I was talking about this particular forecast model has been keeping it dry on Saturday. Now, for the most part, it looks fairly dry, but look at this. We're seeing some of it just clipping parts of Northern California. So that's why I've still got the chance for showers in there for everyone, including the valley, especially the first half of the day on Saturday. By Saturday afternoon, as we go through the day on Saturday, even the European forecast model is backing down on the amount of rainfall we see for the second half of the day on Saturday. Then by Sunday, it's completely dry. Now, there's a little bit of a kink in there. You can see this system right here may just clip Northern California Tuesday, but for the most part, we're dry through next week. Now, one of the things we'll notice for next week is it will be drier, it will be warmer, but it looks like we may be setting ourselves up here for some gusty winds at times. And as much as I hate to say it, despite the fact that we've got rain and we've seen snow in the mountains, this could elevate our fire weather risk with some stronger winds as we go through parts of next week. In fact, the rain and snow that we're seeing here through at least Friday into Saturday morning, after that it dries out. And we've got drier than normal conditions through next week. Just a quick reminder, I showed you this yesterday, but 102 is how we started off the month of October in Redding for both the October 1st and 2nd. Stayed in the mid to upper 90s through that week. And then October 6th and 7th, 102 degrees. Look what we saw yesterday and what we saw on Monday. Upper 60s. And we'll pretty much be looking at temperatures continuing to drop. In fact, you can see here, looking at the Climate Prediction Center, we're mainly in that cooler than normal category. You look at the 10-day trend. We're barely getting to normal by the time we get in the middle and latter part of next week. So we're keeping our temperatures below normal. Look at that. We'll struggle to get out of the 50s by Thursday, by Halloween. Friday up to about 60, 64 Saturday, and the temperatures is kind of ticking upward, but staying in the low 70s. For Wednesday through Friday of next week. Let's take a look at those wave heights. They're starting to increase here for today. They'll increase even more with the approaching storm system on Thursday. Now, as a result, we do have a gale warning for today that'll probably extend on into tomorrow as well. South winds at 20 to 25 knots, waves from the northwest at 5 feet at about 10 seconds. All right, so here's a look at your Trinity County neighborhood forecast, and here's what we're looking at. So we're not going to go into the timing of the rain. We saw that with Futurecast, right? So let's just talk about today. And of course, you can take a look at your 7-day forecast respectively of where you are. You can also take a look at some of those snow levels too. Snow levels still, really for all intents and purposes, are still fairly high. Yes, some of those higher mountain passes, 5,000 to 6,000 feet, could run into some issues with snow. Scott Mountain, for example, Cedar Pass, for example, for down your summit too. But there you can see here, mid to upper 50s today for the Highway 299 corridor. Take you to the south, 51 for Forest Glen, 53 in Ruth. Got about 50 for Wildwood and Hayfork, about 56 degrees. All right, let's take you out to Humboldt County. Now, we're going to take a look at the North Coast neighborhood forecast, if my clicker will work. Oh, there we go. Temperature 59 degrees for Miranda, 61 degrees for Redway, 57 in Red Crest. Now, you can see here the showers off and on through Friday, maybe even into Saturday morning. We take you up north, Ferndale 60, 59 degrees for Hydesville, 57 degrees for Rio Dell. And we take you up north of that with 58 for McKinleyville, 63 for Trinidad, Hoopa 61, and Willow Creek about 63 degrees. Up north, 56 degrees for Smith River, 55 in Klamath, 58 for Orick, and Gas Key, about 52 degrees. So it's going to be a cool day out there today, folks. And of course, we got that rain kind of coming on as well, a cool rain, if you will. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, temperatures in the mid-50s, showers developing by around midday afternoon. I-5 corridor, temperatures low to mid-50s, off and on chances for rain, with snow levels as low as 4,000 feet. Scott Valley, 53 degrees for Jones, 52 degrees for Callahan. Also seeing those showers developing probably sometime around early mid-afternoon. Mount Shasta City, there's off and on chance for showers. We're dry by Sunday and keeping it dry going into Monday, Tuesday of next week. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, not getting in the 50s for most of us, although likely up to about 52. 49 for Alturas and Newell, about 48 degrees. Not until this evening that you'll see some wet weather here for Modoc County. Not until this evening and tonight that most of the eastern mountains will see those showers. Okay, so you can see 47 for Old Station, 52 degrees for Bernie, and 56 degrees for Paynes Creek. We take you out to Lake Almanor, Lassen Park, and temperature about 45 degrees for Manzanita Lake, 53 in Chester, 49 for Westwood, and Canyon Dam, a high of about 50. All right, we take you to the south, and you can see Mineral, 48, 55 for Susanville, as well as Doyle, and 54 degrees in Kronberg. Paradise, 58 degrees. Here's your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by our friends at Walgamith Painting. I want to thank them for their support of the Valley neighborhood forecast. As you can see here, we got 63 degrees for Red Bluff, 64 in Chico, and 63 degrees for Gridley. Let's take you up north. City of Shasta Lake, about 61. 63 for Redding, 55 for Lakehead, and 56 degrees in Whiskeytown. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. And there you can see late in the day. We're talking late afternoon, showers developing. And then we've got isolated off and on showers. Nothing heavy really for the Valley on Halloween day, but maybe just enough that, yeah, there may be a passing sprinkle light shower for the trick-or-treaters. On Friday, more rain, could get heavier that is, by the time we get in Friday evening, Friday night. Some of that may linger into Saturday morning, but by Saturday afternoon, it should be dry. Temperatures mid-60s, I'm expecting for the weekend, and even around 70 by Monday and Tuesday of next week. So there it is. There's your detailed forecast for you. I try to get it going as much detail so you can be prepared, so you know what to expect here for today. And by the way, if you missed this, if you're watching this right now, you go, oh man, I missed the forecast. No problem. In fact, I want to show you a really cool resource for you. If you're watching on Facebook, you can always go back to this and watch it on Facebook once it uploads. But I'm going to take you to the homepage here, weathernorcal.com. See where it says Coffee with Krueger right there? You can click on that banner. You can also go to the top here where it says Coffee with Krueger. But I'm going to click on that banner. Oh, looks like Roku is back up, by the way. Is it? I think it is. This is good news. Let me get off YouTube. But anyway, click on coffee. I got a little distracted. Squirrel. Coffee with Krueger. And then here it is. So that is Coffee with Krueger from yesterday morning. But you click on this and you can watch Coffee with Krueger. So once I'm done with this live recording or live show, Coffee with Krueger, it's recording as we speak. And then once I'm done, I upload it to YouTube. And then you can watch it on the webpage. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it wherever you want, as long as you have an internet connection. Is Roku up yet? Doesn't look like it is just yet. It's close, but at least it's back up on the website. So that's good to know. We'll take it back here. Yeah, it's up there, but looks like Roku Fire Stick's still having some issues. Apparently they're working on some infrastructure to make it stronger and better. So that's always good. But sometimes in order to make things better, you've got to, go through a few setbacks while it's all happening. All right. So yeah, that's a look at your 7-day outlook. I showed you where you can find Coffee with Krueger if you're watching this a little bit later. But that's kind of looking at what's going on out there for today. So yeah, I mean, oh, look at that. We're still dark. All right, we're starting to see that light kind of come up in some areas here, but some of these cameras are having, looks like a difficult time loading up. All right, there's the one in Chico. We'll get to that here in a second. Let's see here. Oh, we got Kenny. I'm not sure when. It says 5 minutes ago. So Kenny, if you're still watching, I see you there. Hello, how are you? Good morning. Great photo for your image there. Is that I think that's Mount Shasta. Is that Mount Shasta? I don't know. Beautiful shot. But thank you for checking in this morning, Kenny. I certainly appreciate it. Let's take a look at what Nick wants to say. Good morning. When you left the news to stop watching it, I only liked watching the news for the weather. So there you go. I kind of went off of that. There were a lot of people saying, I don't even watch the news. They would just have it on mute when the news was on. And then when they would see me come on, they would take off the mute button and then they would watch the weather, stop what they're doing and watch the weather. So again, that's the beauty of Weather NorCal. This is the beauty of this. And here's another thing. Nick and others of you who maybe still watch the news or you've transitioned from not watching the news anymore to me. Here's something that's really cool. And here's what I love about the 24-hour streaming channel that I've got, which is not working on Roku today or yesterday, but it's in the works. But here's what's cool about it. Here's what I love about it. Is back in the day when news was a thing and news was really the only and best source for information before the internet really kind of took off, it was news and weather that people watched. And even during that time, weather was the number one reason why people watched the news. But what people would do, and it was normal, in the morning they'd wake up and they would just instinctively put on their local news, the morning show on the news. And they would just leave it on in the background while they're getting ready. Kids are eating breakfast, you're getting stuff ready so you can head out the door. But people would get their news and their latest forecast so they knew to expect for the day, so they could prepare for the day. Well, here's what's cool about Weather NorCal, because really what impacts you the most is the weather, right? So you can turn on from your Roku, your Amazon Fire Stick, from your smart TV with YouTube on it. You can have that on your TV in your main living room while you're getting ready for the day, and you don't have to wait. You can watch the weather as it is. And another cool thing is if you have YouTube and maybe you don't have time to watch the live show, you can on YouTube watch my latest video forecast and just have that running on in the background. You can listen to that, see what's going on with that as well. So that's what I love about this. And I know this is something I've mentioned in the past, but it is something that's in my head and I'm thinking about it, and not a lot of steps moving forward, getting it going, but I do have plans for Coffee with Krueger to make it a little bit more robust. I do have plans for Weather NorCal and branching out to make it a little bit more robust as well. But that's going to take time. It's going to take money. It's going to take getting more sponsors. It's going to take all of that. And we're working on it. We're getting there. And I'm very grateful for the sponsorship that I have now, because without the sponsors that I have, by the way, this would not exist. This would not be happening at all. That's the bottom line. So I appreciate the sponsors that we've got out there, and I appreciate all of you that are sponsoring. And for those of you that have maybe been watching and maybe you own a small business and you've been thinking about supporting Weather NorCal, we've got some great specials going on, by the way, through the rest of the holiday into the new year. So yeah, hit me up. Give me an email. You can very easily find that email like this. This is the easiest way to do it, folks. If you're looking at it, you can do this. You can, of course, all you have to do is say your ad here, be seen on weathernorcal.com, contact us today. You can click on that. And what that will do, well, it'll take you to, okay, just once. I guess Google Chrome. That's new, always. And then what it will do is it will, what? That, no. What? I apologize, folks. How about contact? I bet you if you go to, oh, there you go. That's the easiest way. Just go to click contact here. And then you put your name, your email, and write your message. And then you can say, hey, I heard about your specials you got going on. Tell me more about it. And I'll be glad to contact you, and I'll tell you about the specials that are going on for advertising. All right, so there you go. That's going to do it. We got Stephen Casper saying, you're awesome. Well, you're awesome too, Stephen. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Always nice to hear from people who appreciate what we're doing. By the way, this is fun too. Just saw this. Today is National Candy Corn Day. All right. Some people love candy corn, some people don't. I actually love candy corn. I think it's great. But others are not such big fans of candy corn. Well, that's going to do it for today, folks. It is, why, 7:47, a little bit longer than usual, but we've had a lot to talk about. I've been kind of talking about what Weather NorCal is all about and how great it is. I absolutely love it. I think hopefully you all are loving it as well. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate you. And by the way, I appreciate those of you that come to me and say, hey, I watch Weather NorCal every day. Because what that tells me is that Weather NorCal is effective and it's doing its thing. And that's all I need to know. That's all I need to hear. All right, there's a look at Main Street Chico. We're kind of wrapping up the show here. We're going to leave you with a couple more cameras. But in the meantime, you have yourselves a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow morning right here on Coffee with Krueger starting at 7 a.m. And hopefully by then, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick is back up and running, but at least YouTube is. Have a great day. Bye.